often think that hand sanitizer is an equal replacement for washing your hands with soap and water. It saves time. I don't have time to wash my hands. Let me grab some hand sanitizer. I'm good to go. How many times have you done that? How many times have you grabbed the hand sanitizer instead of getting up, going to grab the sink, get some soap and water? Because it is time consuming. I've been a nurse for 14 years, and I worked in a variety of healthcare settings. When I first became a nurse, hand sanitizer wasn't that popular, so we didn't have a big discussion about it, but I find probably in the past 5 to 10 years it's become more popular. I'm going to prove that hand sanitizer is not as effective as regular hand washing with soap and water. I'm going to give you enough information to make an informed decision. I'm not telling you not to use hand sanitizer, but I'm going to give you the pros of washing your hands with soap and water versus hand sanitizer. The hand sanitizer is most often used in healthcare settings. If you've ever been to the hospital or the doctor's office, you'll see on the wall, in the hallway, in the rooms, hand sanitizer everywhere. It's readily available. It saves the healthcare workers time. So we can kind of understand why they would lean to using that versus soap and water. It's encouraged to use soap and hand sanitizer if your hands are not visibly soiled. And what that means is, okay, you do something. You're working in the yard, you're working in the dirt, and you see dirt on your hands. You're naturally going to go to soap and water. Well, if you're going shopping, put you on a shopping cart, well, I don't see anything on my hands, let me get the hand sanitizer. So people are more often to use the soap and water if they see something on their hands. In an article that I read by Griff Alspatch, it is in a nursing journal called Critical Care Nurse. It was published in February of 2008. It was volume 28. They said that healthcare workers decide where to use hand sanitizer versus soap and water based on a few things about the patient. The diagnosis and the condition of the patient, the display of their personal hygiene, the diagnosis, all these things, make the healthcare provider say, hey, do I want to use soap and water or hand sanitizer? Think of it this way and put yourself in their shoes. If a person comes in with a broken wrist, their skin's intact, you would feel comfortable going and doing their vital signs and taking care of them without gloves or using hand sanitizer after, right? But if someone comes in coughing and sneezing and they have all these secretions coming out and they have burning up with fever, are you going to use soap and water or are you going to use hand sanitizer? Most often you're going to use soap and water because that type of symptoms make you think, oh my goodness, that's really contagious. Whereas a broken arm, it's like, what are you going to get from that? Okay, hand washing is time consuming. We've touched on that. And it's not as effective though if you don't do it correctly. So you can know, put soap on your hand, run some water, real quick and you're done. But if you don't do it properly, it's pointless to do it. Hand sanitizer is not as effective on some bacteria and viruses. They did some studies. In another article, it says, according to Lauren Vogel in the Canadian Medical American Journal, it was published September 11th, volume 183, it suggests that facilities that use hand sanitizer have a larger outbreak of the norovirus than facilities who primarily use soap and water. And what the norovirus is a gastrointestinal virus. It affects the stomach and the intestines. It is a very nasty bug, and it's very hard to get rid of. It lives a good while, and it's very contagious. So the facilities that were primarily using hand sanitizer, when they had an outbreak, they had a big outbreak of it. But the facilities that were using soap and water, it wasn't as bad. Okay, so that's something to think about there. And they also had another article published in July of 2013 in the American Journal of Nursing, volume 113. David Carter states that facilities whose staff uses hand sanitizer more often experience a more severe and a more frequent outbreak of the norovirus. And this was brought to the CDC's attention. So what the CDC said was, why don't we make a new rule that if you have the norovirus or any other kind of virus or bacteria that's really contagious, let's use soap and water more so than when we use the hand sanitizer. is not killing some of these bugs like soap and water would. Okay? And people also think that it's actually making the bugs stronger and more resistant to treatment. You know, so that's another thing. The information I presented to you today should prove that hand sanitizer is not more effective and it is not a good substitute for washing your hands with soap and water. Washing your hands properly with soap and water is more effective. Standard hand washing consumes more time, but the benefit to you by doing it pays off, because using your hand sanitizer, say you've been touched something with an norovirus on it, using your hand sanitizer, guess what? It's not going to kill it. So in the back of your mind, kind of think about that. It's been proven not to kill all viruses and all bacteria, so you know that's one thing. If you do not have soap and water readily available, if you're in your car, you know, you're at a store, they don't have a bathroom, then it is okay to use hand sanitizer, but that would not be my first choice when you have soap and water that's available. Okay? And to conclude this session, I'm going to instruct y'all on proper hand washing. Clean hands save lives. You know, we learned years and years ago, as long as you're washing your hands, you're getting rid of bacteria and stuff. What you want to do, use soap and water when hands are visibly dirty and soiled. And this came from the CDC. You know, like I said, that is what they promote. Wet your hands with water, apply soap, and rub them together vigorously. I mean, you're really rubbing that soap in there, all over the backs of your hands and everything. For at least 15 seconds, cover all the surfaces in your fingers. Rinse them with water, dry with a disposable paper towel, and turn this faucet off with a paper towel. And the reason behind that is you can recontaminate yourself by touching the faucet. Okay? Well, do y'all have any more questions? Any ideas? Concerns? No?
Right.
Okay.
No, wash my hands.
Yes. I know.